Hello everyone, welcome to Ekam Academy. Today is 5th February 2025. As despite it's 5th February 2025, but today I am going to discuss that particular article which appeared on February 4th regarding with the shipping industry because I felt like it's important as such. So make sure that this is not today's article, this is February 4th article which I am discussing it with you. Clear? So the article editorial heading is like some wind behind the sails of India's shipping industry, where union budget appears to have met most of the shipping industry demands which are there, but it has missed an opportunity to address this particular tax disparities. So shipping industry, which is one of the most important industry, where chances are there UPSC might ask a question in mains examination in GS paper 1 regarding with the shipping industry, or in GS paper 3 regarding with the shipping industry contribution to the GDP or the challenges which this particular shipping industry is facing as such. So context is like Indian government has made significant strides in developing the maritime sector, as you hear to Nirmala Sitharaman, an area largely neglected by previous administrations. While these efforts have contributed to economic growth and improved infrastructure, and if you see the Indian shipping industry remains stagnant as such, if you see Sagarmala project, which is one of the flourishing projects which have been started during this particular rule of the government, and several structural challenges, financial constraints and many other tax disparities are there which continue to hinder its competitiveness. So now government has given good amount of significance, but still there are challenges, there are bottlenecks where government has to focus, and government has to come to one particular line that shipping industry ka jo importance hai, government has to rethink it once and increase the budget allocations. Tax disparities which are there in this particular shipping industry, that particular segment has to be focused. If you could see under Sagarmala project and stagnation of shipping industry. So Sagarmala program launched to enhance India's maritime infrastructure. If you see Sagarmala project to develop these particular coastal corridors, improving with road connectivity, railway connectivity, port area development, Sagarmala project has come into picture, and which is launched to enhance India's maritime infrastructure, to improve trading and to improve this shipping industry as such. So as of September 2024, if you see, 839 projects requiring an investment of 5 lakh crore have been outlined with 241 projects completed. Matlab 2024 September, just 3-4 months back, if you see, there are 839 projects requiring an investment of 5.8 lakh have been outlined, with 241 projects have been finished. So somewhere around government has invested some decent amount in it, and 234 projects are under implementation out of this 839, and 364 projects are in various stages of development, might be in the pioneer stage or in the intermediary stage. Clear? And this particular program on port modernization, you remember this particular Sagarmala project as a scheme launched by Government of India to develop coastal corridor, improving the connectivity with rail links, road links and port development with huge amount of port modernization. And for the port modernization, they have given 2.91 lakh crore, and for port connectivity, they have given 2 lakh crore. And for port-led industrialization, there are 3 components in it. For port modernization, port connectivity through railway links and road links, and port-led industrialization also they have concentrated, and coastal community development. There are various elements in Sagarmala project. Sagarmala project is just nothing but comprehensive development of the coastal area, which doesn't only include about the port development, which also includes the port connectivity. Port modernization is one segment, port connectivity through rail links, road links is one connectivity, one segment in Sagarmala. Third is port-led industrialization. Whatever the industrial segment would be developed, that is one segment which we have to focus. And coastal community development is also one particular area which is very, very important under this particular Sagarmala project. And the impact of these initiatives is evident in India's economic growth. So what the initiatives whichever government has took, the impact is evident that with GDP increasing from 153 trillion in 2016-17 to 272 trillion despite setbacks due to COVID-19 pandemic. And during, in COVID-19 pandemic, ये जो साल था पूरा 19 and 20, most of these are wasted. But despite of this, we had a greater increase in this particular GDP, with GDP increasing from this particular segment to 272 trillion as such. Similarly, India's export-import trade grew from $66 in 2016-17 as a base year to 116 billion in 2022, reflecting 77% cumulative industry. Recently, during the budget, one of my friends were sharing this particular segment recently regarding with the Cochin shipyard stock. थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हुआ था, मैंने तो देखा नहीं वैसे, but that particular shipping industry, if you see in 2016, the investment and the stock price was very less, but there has been huge amount of cumulative increase by 77%. If you could have invested in this particular segment in 2016-15, somewhere near closer to it, and if you have withdrawn now at least, you might have become a billionaire as of now. And the government has set some ambitious targets aiming to achieve 5 trillion economy. ये तो target है by 2027 जो होगा नहीं. And 7 trillion economy by 2030, making India third largest economy in the world, with exports projected to reach 2 trillion by 2030. ये जो 7 trillion है, इसमें exports projected to reach this particular $2 trillion by 2030. ये होगा कि नहीं हम वेट करके देखेंगे. India might reach much closer than what is expected as of now, but exact figure it would be reaching ये मुझे उतना लग नहीं रहा. And if you see the stagnation in shipping industry, stagnation जो है shipping industry में, despite the progress, despite you can see the fund allocations in this, है ना, under Sagarmala project product जो progress है under Sagarmala, despite of this much influence and this much deliberate fiscal management towards the shipping industry development, it has remained stagnation. Despite the progress in port infrastructure as port modernization, port-led connectivity, port-led industrialization and coastal community development, the Indian shipping industry has not experienced commensurate growth. मतलब जितना एक्सपेक्ट किए अबाउट विद द रिगार्ड विद द इन्वेस्टमेंट उतना ज्यादा हुए नहीं. कार्गो हैंडल्ड एट मेजर पोर्ट्स has only increased marginally from 1071 million tons to 1249 million tons. Despite of port modernization, if you could see just 49 and somewhere around 29 अगर आप देखेंगे, near closer to 77-78 million tons का growth हुआ बस. And the year span, if you see, within 4 years, only 70 to 80 million tons का फर्क है. It means for every year 20 million ton has been increased, which is not that greatly handled, as Sagarmala project was expected to handle more and more cargo. And more concerning is the declining in the number of vessels handled at the ports, which dropped from 21,665. Earlier इतने कार्गो आते थे, इतने vessels आते थे, but which got declined to 20,371. This is one course of concern. It is not because of the port modernization or the loopholes they have. Port infrastructure have increased very high in India, but there are some more issues which we have to focus as such. And also additionally, Indian registered fleet has grown at slow pace, increasing from 1313 ships to somewhere 1526 ships. ये तो 8 साल का है. This is a normal growth accordingly with the expected rate. इतना 200 तो increase होना बनता है पक्का 8 साल में. So it means for every year, if you could see, only somewhere around 30, near closer to 30 ships were increased. While the average age of Indian fleet was improved by from 26 years to 21 years due to recent acquisitions, India's global ship ownership ranking has slipped from 17th to 19th. So Indian fleet का average age है, it has improved from 26 years to 21 years during the recent acquisitions, and this decline indicates that investment in port infrastructure alone have not translated into a stronger domestic shipping industry. मतलब सिर्फ and सिर्फ investing in the port infrastructure is not going to give you. So in some fiscal stimulation process, the Sagarmala project in relation with Bharatmala project has shown bit less effective results. You know, Indian shipping companies continue to lose market share to foreign flag vessels in export-import trade, to rail and transport network for domestic cargo movement. So this is what the stagnation which we have. Despite of these many things, this much investment and we have experienced a growth, but still it is stagnant in nature. So what are the challenges which are hindering? Why this is happening? Why shipping industry is being in a stagnant way? That is what I have given some 4 reasons for the stagnation. One is capital constraints and high borrowing cost. Indian shipping companies face high borrowing cost, short loan tenures and strict collateral requirements. Unlike foreign counterparts where you see Indian ship owners cannot use ships as collateral, making making financing difficult. So ये collateral कर नहीं सकते हैं, but foreign ship counterparts they can do the collateral. Additionally, lenders do not fully understand the cyclical nature of industry, leading to rigid loan restructuring policies. So capital constraints are there, investments constraints are there, high borrowing cost from the markets are there. This is one particular scenario which is making a setback to the shipping industry as such. Second is unfavorable tax policies. If you see, Indian flagged ships are subjected to 5% of GST on purchase price, a tax not imposed on foreign vessels operating in Indian waters. This is one. Moreover, ये देखो, Indian ship owners must deduct TDS on seafarers' salaries, whereas foreign vessels employing Indian seafarers do not have to deduct that particular TDS. तो ये एक मतलब ही है, ये एक मतलब ही है, and these disparities make Indian vessels significantly less competitive as such. One was they don't have the exact capital which they are in required with, where they face high borrowing cost difficulties, and as they borrow, people who are working with this particular segment, whenever the Indian flagged ships are subject to purchase price index पे जो GST लगता है, that is 5%, which foreign counterparts do not ever have, and those ship owners must deduct TDS on seafarers and salaries. So this is going to make you reduced number of people who generally would be employed in this particular segment. ये बहुत बड़ा difficulty है. Shipbuilding challenges, if you see, India's shipbuilding industry suffers from inadequate infrastructure. Like if you see high input cost, especially steel का जो input cost है, this is very very high, and dependence on imports for spare parts. Ship के लिए जो spare parts होते हैं, कोच्चि ship making industry, कोलकाता ship making industry, certain spare parts we generally take it as an import, and delay in vessel deliveries. जितना जल्दी हो सकता है उतना नहीं देंगे. There shall be huge amount of delay in this vessel deliveries. So India has to focus upon shipbuilding industry, manufacturing industry at any cost to reduce this spare parts import, and more vessels manufacture per year has to be increased. Additionally, अगर आप देखेंगे custom duties to the imported machinery, ये फालतू पा है. Like custom duties for the imported machinery has increased the production cost, while a lack of skilled workforce reduces the efficiency too. And there is huge amount of lack of skilled workforce which is present here. So एक तो already steel we are importing. One is dependency on imports of spare parts, delay in this is the reason for delay in vessel parts. One thing is custom duty, second is lack of skilled labor which is present. All these issues discourage the ship owners from investing in Indian shipyards. So finally what will happen? Investment in shipyards would be reduced as such. This is one concern. One is capital concern, one is unfavorable tax policies, third is shipbuilding challenges, fourth is competition from foreign flagged vessels. If you could see, Foreign flagged vessels already I have said that they don't have GST, TDS deduct nahi karenge. So foreign flagged vessels often registered in tax havens enjoy easier access to the capital, lower borrowing cost than that of Indian vessels which are there, and lenient regulations are there, not like Indian vessels. They have bit lenient like regulations, and their ownership structure allows them to operate minimum regulatory oversight, making them far more competitive than Indian flagged ships. So this is the extra edge. Tax haven is an extra edge. Easy access to the capital, extra edge. Lower borrowing capital, the extra edge, and lenient regulations are the extra edge. Through these particular extra edges, these foreign flagged vessels which are there, they are becoming more far competitive than that of Indian flagged vessels. So what government has did? One is they have developed some maritime development fund. If you see, a 25,000 crore fund aimed at improving access to the capital for the ship owners have been developed. And you know, in India, policymakers, they have vision and they make up policies, but coming to the implementation, it generally gets delayed as such. This is one bottleneck we have. However, only 49% of this fund will come from the government. Ye dekho ab tamasha. With rest dependent upon major ports, raising concern about its sustainability. Second is infrastructure status. For large vessels, this status allows shipping companies to access benefits similarly to that of other infrastructure segments. And customs duty exemptions on shipbuilding spares. As I've already said, there shall be custom duties for the machinery which we are importing and spare parts. But here government has given an ease. The government has extended this exemption for another 10 years, whereby we have custom duties exemptions for the spare parts which we generally take from the other foreign countries, and revamped finance assistance policies which includes credit incentives for the ship making and ship breaking and extension of tonnage tax scheme to the inland vessels. While these particular initiatives are step in right direction, they may not be sufficient for sure, but this capital intensive nature of shipping and shipbuilding industries requires more amount of inflow of funding and credit. This might not be the right thing. If you see, additionally clarity is needed that how this 25,000 crore of development fund will be mobilized and distributed over the coming years. आज तक मुझे क्लैरिटी नहीं है कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत क्या होता है. What is आत्मनिर्भर? 20,000 crores कुछ बोले थे, 20 lakh crores ऐसा कुछ बोले थे, उसमें मुझे तो 1 रुपए मिला नहीं. See, ये पेपर पे ठीक है, but in originality, what is this particular maritime development fund? ये 25,000 crore का clarity अब तक नहीं मिला. They have to give the clarity regarding with it. But I have some points where we can look into as way forward segment. If you see, long-term financing at competitive interest rates. This is one particular segment which won't create burden on the ship acquisition or ship owners, where long tenures of 7 to 10 years with lower interest rates to facilitate ship acquisition and modernization. This can help ship owners to buy or start the ship making as such. And expansion of shipbuilding infrastructure, as I have already said, port modernization is 100% necessary. Port-led connectivity is necessary. Port-led industrialization is necessary. Coastal community development is necessary. But this shipbuilding infrastructure has to be developed. India must invest in new shipyards and modernize the existing ones to build large vessels and reduce the dependency on imports where they would be delaying the vessels as such. अगर कुछ war पीर हो गया तो पूरा खत्म उधर ही जाएगा. तो tax reforms, already I have said this is an issue related with this. Removing IGST on ship purchases and exempting Indian seafarers from TDS requirements, ये थोड़ा देना पड़ेगा because they will be risking their lives as such. It will improve the competitiveness as such. And encouraging external commercial borrowings wherever they feel that they have an ease. If external strategically utilized, external commercial borrowings could help bridge the funding gap in maritime sectors with lower interest rates as such. And invest in green technology. Never ever we will be feeling negative once we invest in green technology. So green technology में invest करने से जो global emission का targets है ये fill हो जाएगा. And India must promote eco-friendly shipbuilding and retrofitting of existing vessels, because if these particular shipbuilding industries they are again emitting the carbon, तो वो अलग से finance का बर्डन होगा गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे हैव टू प्रमोट इन्वेस्टमेंट इन ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी इन दिस पर्टिकुलर शिप बिल्डिंग इंडस्ट्री. सो एक तो लॉन्ग टर्म फाइनेंसिंग, एक्सपेंशन ऑफ शिप बिल्डिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, सो दैट हम जो डिपेंडेंसी हो रहा है फॉरेन कंट्री से, द डिपेंडेंसी वुड बी रिड्यूस. टैक्स रिफॉर्म्स, टीडीएस, आईजीएसटी खत्म करनी चाहिए. Encourage external commercial borrowings wherever they feel necessity. They can encourage this particular external commercial borrowings where the interest rates are less. And investment in green technology, क्योंकि shipbuilding से if we are investing in this shipbuilding industry, again this should not contribute to the climate fund, है ना. ये कार्बन एमिशन कर रहा है फिर उसको रिड्यूस करने के लिए ये उधर से है. दिस शुड नॉट हैपन. दैट्स व्हाई द इन्वेस्टमेंट or the fiscal management towards the shipbuilding industry has to be in a right way and right segment as such. Clear? So this is the way forward, and I have given the question of the day. Discuss the significance of Sagarmala project and explain the challenges associated with Sagarmala and suggest some measures. अभी जो मैं measures बताया, what are the Sagarmala project initiatives, you can just once read it out and write this particular questions. Measures में आप सीधा सीधा ये लिख लो. Clear? So this is up with today's video. We would be coming up with more and more editorials for you. Please encourage us by liking us, dropping the comments, whatever you have felt, and share this video as much as you can. And if you want us to make some topics regarding with certain contents which are important for UPSC, you can just drop that particular content name in the comment box, so that we would be making a crystal clarity video on that particular topic. Let it be from any subject. Thank you for watching this video. Have an awesome day. Jai Hind.